Despite coronavirus being one of the most stressful situations the world has ever experienced, it has also given us moments of pure comedy gold. For instance, in Italy, despite being one of the hardest hit countries with 60,000 confirmed cases, some Italians are still going out, living their normal lives, and having fun. Which is not only irresponsible, it's stressing a lot of people out, right? And so, a lot of Italian mayors and local leaders have started posting videos yelling at people to go back home.
Mi arrivano notizie che qualcuno vorrebbe preparare la festa di laurea. Mandiamo i carabinieri, ma li mandiamo con i lanciafiamme.
Sono il sindaco, sul mio territorio non si passeggia. Non vi posso impedire formalmente di uscire da casa? Bene, vi impedisco di passare sul suolo pubblico.
Ma dove cazzo andate? Dove andate con questi cani che hanno la prostata infiammata?
Non è un film, tu non sei Will Smith in Io sono leggenda.
Non si può stare in mezzo alla strada, come ve lo devo spiegare? Non si può stare. E voi, non è previsto il ping pong. Andiamo alla PlayStation.
Yo, I gotta say, I love how direct Italians are. Because in America, mayors are like, please help to flatten the curve, to limit your excursions to only essential travel. Please, we know people aren't doing this. We need you. And in Italy, they're just like, get the fuck inside. I'll knock your teeth in. You don't listen to me. Why you don't listen? I got to come there and I punch you in the face. I got to break you. You're mad that I got to break you. Now, while leaders in Italy are threatening to come and kick their constituents' ass, the residents of Spain seem to be a little more well-behaved. And so, to reward the citizens stuck at home, the police are driving around and performing for people in the streets.
Cantiamo vedere una canzone. Andres, 1, 2, 3. In giampo di candaia, daia, giampo di candaia, in così.
Oh, you see? That's nice. That's a really nice thing for those police to do, and something that would never work in the USA. Can you imagine that? Police driving out, jumping out of their cars with instruments playing from people. As soon as black people start clapping, the cops would lose their shit. They'd just be like, and we're here to sing for you. And black people would be like, yeah! They'd be like, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired! Be like, yo man, I was clapping, put your hands down. They're my hands, man, they're my hands. All right, so that's some of what's going on around the world. So let's switch gears and catch up on everything over here in the US. Over the past few days, more high-profile people have tested positive for coronavirus. Andy Cohen has coronavirus. Senator Rand Paul has coronavirus. Even Harvey Weinstein, who's in prison, has tested positive for coronavirus, which makes coronavirus the first thing that's come into contact with Harvey Weinstein by choice. Now, because Rand Paul tested positive, a number of senators who came into contact with him quarantined themselves out of precaution. And when Trump was asked about one of those senators, he could barely contain his glee.
President Trump's press briefing yesterday started on notes of unity and strength, but quickly turned to him appearing to mock Senator Mitt Romney's decision to self-isolate himself.
On top of Senator Paul, now 4 senators are in isolation, and the rules say that in order to vote, they have to be there. Romney, Senator Lee, Senator Gardner,
Senator Rick
Scott. Senator Rick Scott also. 2 of them were in contact with
Rick is going out.
With the critical stimulus package vote expected.
Romney's in isolation?
Yes.
Gee, that's too bad. Go ahead.
Detect sarcasm there?
No,
sir?
none whatsoever.
Whew, god damn. You know, even if we all get wiped out, I feel like Trump's pettiness is going to be the only thing that survives this pandemic. And like, there's no good time for a president to be a dick, but what he did there was a little, I mean, it was shitty, right? Mitt Romney's in danger after being exposed to the virus, right? And Mitt Romney's wife, Anne, has MS, so she's at a higher risk for complications. And I bet Trump didn't even think of this when he spoke, you know, because he can't imagine a husband and wife ever getting close enough to expose one another. Now, obviously, it's not just famous people testing positive for coronavirus. Every day, the number of infected people in America goes up by thousands. And because of that, hospitals are now being overwhelmed. Doctors are running out of vital supplies like masks, gloves, and gowns. And it's gotten so desperate that the CDC is telling doctors to just try and use scarves and bandanas. That's really troubling for two reasons. One, doctors are obviously going to be at an increased risk of getting infected by the virus. And two, every hospital is going to start looking like it's being run by the Crips and the Bloods. Hey, man, don't you ever let me catch you prescribing shit in my ward, cuz. Now let me get that CT scan on Miss Chowalski. So now, the hospital equipment shortage has gotten so dire that New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced that the state was forced to buy 2 million masks from overseas for about 5 times their regular price. And even though some mask manufacturers in America are ramping up production, it's not happening fast enough. It's not happening fast enough for the doctors who are on the front lines. And so, governors have been pleading with President Trump to use the Defense Production Act to force private companies in America to produce all the supplies hospitals desperately need. But Trump has refused to use this law, implying that it would turn America into Venezuela. Yeah. And while he's telling American governors to figure things out for themselves, he also wrote a letter to Kim Jong-un offering to help North Korea to fight the coronavirus. So at this point, I don't know what's more unbelievable, that Donald Trump is worrying about North Korea or that he was able to write an entire letter. Like, if you ask me, maybe that's what doctors in America need to do. They need to take 2 hours off and launch some missiles into the Sea of Japan. Then maybe Trump will be like, nice shot, guys, great missile launch. Here's some masks, game recognized, game. So, with many hospitals struggling and the federal government not doing enough to solve the crisis, everyone is trying their best to help out however they can. TV medical shows are donating all of their supplies, their masks, their gloves, their gowns that they've been using as props. This is a real thing that is happening right now. TV shows, TV doctor hospital shows are giving their props in. And I'm glad that they're not giving their doctors in. Those doctors are mad sexy. If you thought coronavirus made it hard to breathe before, can you imagine being treated by McDreamy? Doctor, are you okay? Is something wrong? Are those the symptoms? No, it's your eyes. I can't breathe. Now, because the numbers of people infected keep increasing, governors of 9 states have ordered their citizens into lockdown, which means right now, 100 million Americans are forced to stay at home. 100 million people. That's 1/3 of the US population, or 1 subway car in New York. And because 100 million people are forced to stay at home, the economy is on the brink of a historic collapse. Over the weekend, an official with the Federal Reserve predicted that the unemployment rate could skyrocket all the way up to 30%. And to give you perspective, that would be worse than any point during the Great Depression. Yeah. So to try and stop this from happening, Congress has been working on a massive $2 trillion stimulus, a $2 trillion stimulus package that would give people money and keep businesses afloat. But negotiations between Republicans and Democrats have been contentious, and the main sticking point has been the Republicans are proposing that a huge chunk of the stimulus money would go into a slush fund controlled by the Trump administration. Yeah. So imagine that. Trump would have a ton of money that he could control, and they wouldn't even have to tell the public who they gave the money to for 6 months. 6 months is a lot of time. Trump will be in Mexico by that time, living under an alias, Senor Trumpo. You realize Trump would basically be able to choose which businesses he wants to survive and which businesses he wants to end up like his businesses. Basically, any company that has publicly opposed Trump or makes vegetables could get screwed. It's over for them. The Jolly Green Giant is going to be out here selling his kidneys just to make ends meet.